Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Music. I'm your host, Bree Warwick, and Tyler is taking a little break today, so the girls are taking over. And I've got a very special guest and one of my clients, Miss Ava Earnhardt.
Hello, thank you. I'm super excited to
I
be here.
know, I'm so excited for you to be here. Well, and it's always funny, like going from, like, we just had a lesson together.
Yeah,
And then we're going to this very like formal setting. Like
I know.
we've
What
not seen each other
I never
for
fair
years. And yeah, I was like, no, we just were together for like an
suspicious.
hour.
No, yeah. And
Yeah.
it's such a cool area too. I was fangirling over
Yeah.
here, looking at
Oh,
everything. So cool. So cool.
I love
Just
it.
excited.
Well, and we love using this as like a platform for like our Nashville artists to talk about their work and their craft and all of that, and we'll
Yeah.
we'll get to that for sure. But we like to start to like the very beginning,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So where are you from originally?
So I'm from Arkansas, but I was kind of like a vagabond around Arkansas because I was in foster care. I started out in like the Van Buren area. I don't know if anyone knows Arkansas, but it's in the Van Buren area. It's near Fort Smith is where I like live now. Um and my birth mother was into drugs and different things
Mm,
like that and did some awful things to get money for that. And so we ended up getting put in the system and it was me, my brother, and my sister Vanessa. And me and her ended up going in the foster care together in the same home, but my brother Matthew was very young, like too young, and needed to be like in a more like hands-on home because he was practically a baby.
mm,
Um and so I spent about 5.5 years in foster care, pretty much going all over Arkansas,
mm.
Sebastian County, Logan, up in Little Rock area. So I never had roots really set in Arkansas, so I just say Arkansas. Or if someone asks where I'm from, I say Fort Smith. But I don't have like a designated like, oh, this is where I was.
Mhm.
Up until I got adopted, which I was 8 going on 9, by my lovely family now. I love them.
Yeah, and I met your mom. She's
She's the best.
so nice.
She loves you, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, she was like, I guess I won't go into the vocal lesson today. I was like, I'll let y'all do y'all's own thing. Um, but that's the thing is like she's just so hands on with
Yeah.
my music and like just loves to like if I am like, oh, I love this person and I'm investing in them and they're investing in me. Um, she likes to know, which
Mhm.
she's mama bear. So, and not that she thought anything bad or anything, but she does like to just know like
Yeah,
who
like
I'm
who
giving, like
yeah,
who's
where are we going
mentoring
to?
me, yeah, and things like that. And I'm thankful for her for that. And so she was super excited to meet you that last time, and
Mm.
she really liked you. But yeah, and I have an amazing dad too, and he we when I first came to Nashville, which was about not this last summer, but the summer before that. So I think 24.
Mm.
Yeah, it was the first time I came to Nashville.
And you're 26 now, right?
25.
25.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Don't want to
be
age you up, girl.
no,
Sorry.
oh god, yeah. I'm like every year older. I'm like, oh great, I'm ancient in the music
Ah.
industry. Yeah, that's a hard battle. Overcoming like the stereotypical, oh, you're
Mhm.
too old, for like women.
I feel
You
like
know.
there's so many stereotypes, and if you're just listening to this and you're not watching the video, you're a very pretty girl, in
Thank
my
you.
personal opinion. And I feel like in all degrees, it's very easy for people to make assumptions because when they do meet your family, it's like, oh my God, like, of course you're fine. Like, you've got such a great
Oh.
family and da 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 da. And you're like, yeah, but no, like, you don't know the whole story.
Yeah, and I struggled with that a lot, growing
Mm.
up doing music because I know I'm a grasshopper. I just went everywhere, but I got adopted by an amazing family, and we live in Fort Smith, or I live in Fort Smith. They
Mm.
live a little bit outside of Greenwood, but so that's where my roots are now. But yeah, so when I had started gigging, I was 17, I was fairly young. And I picked up the guitar at 16, and it just like happened very naturally. And I didn't really know gigs were a thing, but my mom was always taking me to like nursing homes And, I sing for the old, like,
Love it.
beautiful souls there, and they were all so supportive, and it was the best thing because, like, had
Yeah.
I started gigging right away, I would've known who I was, or I probably would've just gotten booed off the stage. Um, but they clapped everything, and not that that's not constructive, like, it they did, and they'll let me know if it's bad, thankfully. But it helped me build my confidence and just, like, learn to play and sing
Mhm.
songs and multiple songs at a time, back to back to back, in front of a crowd. And that gave me confidence, like, "Oh, okay, I can do this more publicly." And, I met, Greg Jones. He owns a music shop in Fort Smith,
Mm.
and he my mom was like, "Maybe we should put in guitar lessons just in case there's anything else, you need to know, because I taught myself, and there was a lot I needed to know. But
Mhm.
it was all, like, so overwhelming, though, because I didn't know any theory. It was all just, like, where to place my hands on frets. Like, that's how I learned, and then once I learned to form chords, every night I was just, like, switching between chords until I could give it, you know, like it sound okay.
Mhm.
But Greg was teaching me theory and things like that. It did not last long, like guitar lessons, like the typical guitar lessons, like, oh, I'm coming in to learn this, because he started getting me into gigs. And that's what most of our time was just practicing for gigs. And so I'm still not the best at like guitar theory. I do okay for myself though, like just playing and accompanying myself and picking and whatnot. But when I started gigging, I was like 17 and I was just kind of doing all of that. And that's when I auditioned for UAFS, it's the University of Arkansas Fort Smith,
Hmm.
um, to be in their music program. And I had a vocal teacher when I first started like homeschooling.
Mhm.
And mom was like, "Oh, well, we need to do more activities, like I'm not doing sports, I'm not cheering or anything like that." So she wanted me to have something to do other than like schoolwork. So I wasn't just like at home all the time,
Mhm.
which thankful for her because I wouldn't want to stir crazy.
Yeah, like, let's get a creative art, a
Yeah.
something other than just bookwork.
Yeah, and she was like, "I think you love singing, so let's do that." And which I was very surprised by because before that, I was always like, "Toad, stop killing the cat," like my dad would, he was messing, but like
Yeah.
he would be like, "Who's killing that cat?" And I'd close the door after that, but I always singing. Like when I first came to my mom and dad, like they had a karaoke machine that had Behind My Hazel Eyes and by Kelly Clarkson, and I was
Oh,
belting that song every night, like, every night.
yes.
And so me and my brother Matthew, he was always, like, we were music driven even though we weren't, like, around it that often. We kinda were. Music,
Mhm.
just in general, songs touch us as we, were day-to-day life. But, me and him both were in our room just, like, belting songs all night long, and so, like, I was always singing, but I didn't take it start thinking it was, like, a thing, like, I could take it seriously, and I wanted to do that until my mom was like, "Let's do this," and I was at 16, and so she taught me, like, some Italian pieces and just different works and just how to use my voice, technical things that I obviously didn't know, and then we got together a couple pieces to audition for UFIS, and I got a scholarship, thankfully, because I was graduating a year early after I was homeschooling.
Oh, okay, I didn't know
Yes.
that.
Yeah, and so, well, I say year early. It was a year early technically, but like when I first came to my parents, they held me back a year because I just struggled. I had no stability with like classes. Like I was always in like the classes that needed extra help. Not like the like special needs, but like it was another class where like you were just slower at learning.
And to be fair, it sounds like home life, like before you were adopted, was not ideal.
No, not at all.
So it's probably hard to focus on, like, I need to sharpen my pencils and like read this book when home is not a good place to be.
Yeah, and in foster care, I mean, when we first came to my mom and dad, we were so doped up on whatever they were giving us
Oh,
that we had to be
God.
like wung off. Like we couldn't just stop taking it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like medication,
Hmm.
like that was prescribed or like. other
Mhm.
things?
Well, I'm sure there were other things too, cause like,
Oh my
when they
gosh.
found me in Matthew, like, my birth mother was it was like a one apartment,
Mm,
with a bathroom, like a
mhm.
one bed like, room, basically, like a
Yeah.
motel.
Yeah.
They were cooking meth in the bathroom,
Oh my
so,
god.
like, we were always exposed to it. But,
Okay.
like, in foster care, if you're hard to handle, which we were, I know I was, um, it's just medication after medication till they get that special number where you're, like,
Yeah.
numbed.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's not like that too much now. I work with organizations that, like, they're faith driven. But like at first it was like with DHS, like it was like a paycheck, you know, and whatever they could do to get the kid through the day with as least amount of complications as possible.
I'm, like, ready to cry here, and, like, we've talked about this a little bit before, but, like and before we started filming, and I always ask everyone, "Is there something that you don't wanna talk about?" But the fact that you're able to talk about it, not casually, but so openly and be
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, like, this is what happened," and you
Yeah.
persevere, you move on, you for someone who's not gone through that, it's so how do you navigate this? How? And you just have. Because I feel like anyone who would just meet you on the street would be like, "Oh, she's like the most put together
Yeah.
with it girl ever." And
Yeah.
so bubbly and so energetic. And it's not always that way.
No. And sometimes I wonder where that comes from, like,
Yeah.
cause like my family sometimes like my when I first came my mom and dad,
Mhm.
after we had met obviously my family, we did like a family reunion so that everyone can meet us, like aunts, uncles, and my mom had a big family, like
Mm.
seven. There's seven of them, so like lots of aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff. But like, one thing my cousin said like a while back was like, "Man, you were just like always smiling," And
Wow.
I know, and I was like, really, like, I just sometimes I don't know where it came from, like to just keep smiling, I guess, and like
Mhm.
maybe because 'cause I'd seen so much bad, like, I was just like, if it wasn't bad, I was happy, you know?
Right.
And that like, with the medications, like, it drowned out a lot, but not enough. And, like, there was every form of abuse that took place, and so
Wow.
we did have a lot to overcome, um, but I'm thankful now, like,
Mhm.
I try and sing about it in my music, like, I think that's why I cannot or ever will give up on music because it's not even just about like that I want to like maybe do this professionally. It's just because I have to do it. Like, it's my
Wow.
therapy, and I know it's helped some others too. Just hearing that, you know, someone else had went through it. Because, music
Mhm.
kills. Sometimes, like, when you're sad, you want to listen to a sad song, And sometimes it gives, like, what I do now with organizations that I help with that help with foster families and adoptive families and foster parents that feel called to it, not because they need a check, um, is I sing these songs for them, like, at banquets and things
Mhm.
to just give them insight. This is what these kids are going through or coming out of.
Mhm.
Like, it's not gonna be easy. You're helping a
Yeah.
traumatic child. And so but it gives them more faith to, like, let like, they can be the light at the end of the tunnel for them. Because I only ever had, like, one foster home that was, like, loved. Like,
Wow.
it wasn't punishment, it was discipline, and there's a difference.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and so yeah, I don't know how we got to this part, but, like, we were talking about
Yeah.
something.
Well, and just talking about like your family and the journey and it's such a clear tie-in with how your music comes in with that. So when you say that you're doing these performances and doing the foster education and doing it through music, is that reflected in the songs that you're writing? Are those the songs that you're performing that, oh, I wrote this song because of this and I hope this is your takeaway?
Honestly, no, I get so scared because when I'm at the
Mm.
banquets and things like that, when they know what they're expecting,
Mhm.
I do, because I'm very also they're very personal songs too.
Sure.
Um, so and I struggle singing them here in Nashville just for the sole fact that it's not what you normally hear.
Hmm.
And so I could sing the song about foster care and about abuse and things, but
Mhm.
it it might not be what's marketed, you know?
Hmm.
And so I have this like struggle with, do I be vulnerable and do it anyway? Or is someone in the crowd and they hear this song and then they get to see there's more layers? You know? Um,
Yeah.
it's a hard balance because some people don't. Oh, they're like, oh, and so like, and because I sometimes need to like step out of myself for them and
Mhm.
like not feel put down if they aren't listening. And I think that's why I struggle. I'm like, oh, these are like very personal, but they need to be heard,
Mm.
so these people, like these kids that don't have a voice, like they know about it at least. Um, and I was at Fox and Lock, it's in Leaper's Fork,
Mhm.
and after the gig, they do an open mic on Thursdays, very well put on open mic. It's so fun, like,
Mm.
it's just fun experience it's like a show, but it's just really cool. Like, if anyone can go, like, just try and go. At least go and see it, but try and sign up if you can, because it's just a fun experience. Like, you just feel loved there. Um, like, Ty needs to go.
Mhm.
Like, he would love it. You would love it.
Yeah.
But after everything, and my mom was with me, and it was, you know, a very emotional night because it was September 11th,
Oh
that was
God.
going on, and everything before that day, on September 10th. So, like, I had to open up, and I hadn't opened yet. And I was like, oh gosh, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't, like, it's just like,
Hmm.
we did a moment of silence for everything and for our troops, and I just felt like I needed to probably be vulnerable. So even though I don't usually, I started out with Amazing Grace. I was like, we're gonna pray in song.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and barely got through it because I was like, I
Wow.
started tearing up at the end, but like, because it's just that's how powerful music is. You're singing Amazing Grace, everyone knows that song, but still, like, it can meet you where you're at. And then I sang Reckless, just like to do an original. But I almost wish I would have just been more vulnerable and just did, like, something
Mm.
else, like, so they could have seen me. And I have a song called "The Soul Inside" where it's like I literally saved myself, like, music how music saved me.
Mm.
Um, because, after things had happened in high school and I started homeschooling, like, I did try and take my own life, and
Mm.
I mentioned how whiskey and pills, isn't the answer, and thankfully it didn't work. But,
Mhm.
um and just how I wish I would have just been like, I have these songs and I can be vulnerable.
Yeah.
I just am in my head. But after that show, Alex Tinker, the host, me, him, my mom, and another guy named Michael Eden who did a song about like war and like kind of what's going on in the
Yeah.
world right now, and it was very good and went over very well. Um, we all talked for like 3 hours after outside, and we each three of us shared songs, like our most probably vulnerable songs. And Alex really told us both, like, sometimes you need to be the black sheep because, in the blood, they don't see the scars and the blood because they're black. But when they see it, they understand why they're a black sheep. And the black
Mhm.
sheep isn't always a bad thing. And I really hit hard. I was like,
Have you ever heard the song Black Sheep by Martin Sexton?
no,
Oh, I need to send that to you.
please do.
Yeah. No, I need to send you his album in general. It's I feel like that came out maybe like mid 90s. But I guarantee it would hit very, very hard with you. And there's a couple songs on that
Oh, I
album in
love
general
that.
that you would probably really love. But I feel like as a songwriter, and I'm not a songwriter, but from knowing so many and working with so many, what I always garner is you never know exactly what's going to hit with which person.
Hmm.
And even an artist's biggest song, like John Mayer, I don't know how much he actually cares about the song Daughters,
No,
but God, people love the song
dude,
Daughters.
they do.
Like, and that won him Grammys, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he did a speech at Berkeley School of Music, I believe, several years ago, and he was asking the students, "Do you think you're smarter than your audience or smarter than your listeners?" And you're not, because they're telling you, they're giving the feedback, they're giving you the listening power
Yeah.
of what is going to resonate with them, because sometimes you just really don't know. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of times we put on airs of what we think we're supposed to do or
Yeah.
we think we're supposed to be.
All the time.
And even when I started doing private coaching and doing my own business, I had a specific look in my head of what a music instructor or a voice instructor was supposed to be,
Hmm.
because I came from that college realm of classical music is the way, this is how you teach something, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
So my hair would be straight and I would wear like very like
I love your
businessy
curls too.
attire. Right, like all of those things that I've noticed, the more that I'm just myself,
Yeah.
the more I get people that are really for me, because when I'm trying to do things that are just not for me, God, I'll get shitty clients and I'll get like I will get the people that are just not my people,
Yeah.
because you're trying to put on these airs of something that you're not.
Very true. That is so true.
And I feel like for you, like it could be the same. Like there's probably something that you're just untapped thinking, "Oh, are people maybe not gonna like this?" And now this has turned
Ugh.
into a coaching session
Yeah.
and not a podcast.
I need it.
Right, but it's like, are there those things that are very true to you that people might be surprising how they're gonna respond to you? That you just
Mm,
never know, like, until you put it out.
that's very
You
true.
just never know. I feel like as whatever your industry is, a lot of us are just throwing spaghetti to see what sticks to the wall.
Amen.
You know, but I do find the more that people just do something that is authentic to them, and maybe you step in that a little bit more. Like
Yeah.
I've always had curly hair, but it's just gotten like crazier over
I
time,
love it.
right? So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to step into that more, or my outfits will just
Yeah.
be louder, or like whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that has a different meaning for you.
That is very true. And you're right with the you never know who it's gonna connect with. And one thing that my mom and dad always told me, doesn't matter how big or small the crowd is, at least one person comes up to you after a show and tells you disconnected with them.
Yes.
And and that's what I sometimes have to remind myself of that too. Like I'm not singing to the entire room. Like I am, but and it'd be great if it touched multiple people, but sometimes it just needs to touch that one person.
Mhm.
And and when I think back, I'm like, okay, this, then what you're saying now, what Alex is saying, I'm like, yeah, I just need to get out of my head and I need to let the music be music. I need to let at least let that song grow it on itself even without my doubts. you know,
Mhm.
because I have these songs and um I think I don't know if anyone else does this, but like they are like, okay, yeah, I had the song, I did it, and I need to control where it goes,
Mhm.
And instead, I don't think music works like that at all. I think I mean, I in my life, different songs did not go where I thought they would go. They went even better,
Mhm.
because I didn't let myself control it.
And honestly, some of my favorite singers tend to be the ones with the most screwed up past, like Christina Aguilera, all
Oh,
time, one of my
yes.
favorites. She's incredible and had a very abusive father, childhood, growing up, all of the things, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like those are the ones that sing with the most fight,
Mhm.
because it's like they need it. They need it the most. And I think when you perform, and if you've not seen Ava sing and perform, go
Mhm.
check out her Instagram. What is your Instagram
Thank
handle
you.
while we're riddling
Yes.
off? Ava.
So Ava Earnhart,
Hmm.
EARNHART music.
Okay,
Yeah.
on Instagram
And Facebook.
and
So
Facebook.
yeah, at
Okay.
Ava Earnhardt Music, Facebook, Instagram, and then Ava Earnhardt and Spotify. That's a whole
Mhm.
nother thing.
Right. Assuming you're all on all of the platforms, right? But I feel like when someone does hear you sing, you have this gentle nature to your voice, almost like that classic country type of feel,
Mhm.
but with that bit of gruff and that bit of like brash, aggressive nature as well. Because when you hit your high registers, I get like Joni Mitchell vibes almost.
Oh
But
yeah,
there's
I
like a
love that.
lot of depth to it. And one thing that you and I have talked about a lot is when I'm working with someone, it we're never trying to take away like your classic sound. it's just trying to make it even better and like really learn the ins and outs.
Yeah, just
And
enhancing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it is enhancing. And I feel like you have so much of that just naturally on your own that is appreciated and should be celebrated, and just like stepping into that even more.
Thank you. And that's why I was so happy I found you. Because I did have that vocal coach that was teaching me all the technical things. So I
Yeah,
had that. Oh, yes and no. Like I think I lost some. Thankfully, I'm gaining that with you. But I didn't. We did these like specific pieces. We did
yeah,
Italian. We did like more classical pieces. I wanted to just enhance my voice on my sound, and that's
right.
why I was so thankful I found you. Thank shout out to Elizabeth B. She's
Yay,
amazing.
Elizabeth B.
Yes, we
Also
love
one of our
Elizabeth.
podcast guests.
Yes, yes, she's great. And she's like, "Girl, you need to check out this girl." Like she would be perfect because I was like, I think I might need to get in vocal lessons, like just so I
Mm,
know like different things I might not think of. And
yeah,
that's what I like about you. You think outside the box, and you portray it in a way that I need to hear it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're very good at what you do.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and no, I appreciate you, and so it's helped me think outside of the box too with myself and
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily I don't know, cause you just we're all too in our head sometimes, and you say things in a way I need to hear it, and
Mm,
so and it even if we're not doing a lot of singing, sometimes we're just, like, therapy session, but I need it, like, I need it to be about that, and
yeah.
the music, and, like, "You need to stop doing this," like, "Don't be so in your head," or, like, that there's nothing wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, we sing, yes, we do, but, I don't know. You like I said, you're enhancing, You're
Mm-hmm.
not sitting there micromanaging like how someone's singing. You're
Yeah.
just figuring out different things that will help them. And that's helped me flourish at least.
And your prior instructor, it was like a university setting, right? Wasn't it like a more like structured, like school
So,
type of arrangement?
yes, so
Okay.
that was yeah, once but before that when I was 16, 17 before and then going on
Okay.
to college, she had done that, but she was just a vocal teacher on the side now. Like that's what she did, other than like church things. So she had all that training, and that was basically how our lessons were structured, which helped me easily go into the university structure because it was a
Gotcha.
lot like that too, like a lot.
Gotcha.
And so, um, and I was glad because I was on a scholarship. I needed to be there and be doing the best that I can. So I was glad I wasn't like just thrown into it right away.
Sure.
Um, Other than just like me, myself, and my guitar, you know. Um, so that taught me I needed that to get to where I was going there. And I was going for music therapy, and then COVID hit, and that ruined everything.
And then the world burned down is what
Dun
happened.
dun
The
dun.
world burned down. I know, like
Uh,
dun 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 dun, like Jaws music comes
for
in.
real.
But I think that it depends on the structure of what you need, because I'm also not for everybody. Just like your music isn't for everybody. Like they're
Yeah.
different strokes, different folks. And I think depending upon what the context of what the need is,
Hmm.
I think when you're dealing with popular music and you're dealing with people who are just independent artists, we're
Yeah.
doing a disservice if we're saying it should sound like this.
Yeah.
When voices in general, what I love about them and what like really gets me jazzed about voice is that they're like fingerprints and they're so unique
Yeah.
to each individual. And when you're looking at different like cultural norms, whether it's like Native American culture, Black popular music, country music, like to say that one thing is right over the other is
Yeah.
then throwing away the history of other cultures and other places and other like all of these things. Like how do you say one thing is right, which I think is my struggle with religion, but like what, like how do you say like one thing is right? Like this is the gold standard of what you're supposed to do. There's general norms of like yes, we know that, avoiding spicy foods and hydrating your voice. Like there's like these general things that we know is probably better for us, getting adequate sleep. That's a generally better practice, right?
Hmm.
Doing warm-ups, a generally better practice. But which ones do you do over this one? Which type of water do you choose over? Like then you're just kind of splitting hairs and it's minutia, and it robs too much from the artist, in my opinion. And I feel like at
Yeah.
the end of the day, people just want to sound like themselves. And sometimes the coolest ones are the ones that are kind of weird.
Yeah.
And any singer, I don't care if you're doing classical opera, if you're doing pop country, it doesn't matter what it is, someone's not gonna like it.
Oh, 100%.
How many times has someone slid into the comment section of a video that you've done and they're like, ugh,
Girl.
like, I shared
Oh, yeah.
a photo, not even a voice of me singing, just a
Yeah.
photo of me singing, and my eyes were closed like this.
Yeah.
And someone slid into the comments and was like, "You should never close your eyes when you're singing because you need to connect with the audience." I'm like,
Oh, my word.
"Seriously?"
Okay, Karen.
Like, exactly.
Like, sipping your Chardonnay at 10 in the morning,
Like,
like,
what
get
is
out of here.
what? Like, because
Girl.
I think there is that air of snobbery in some circles that do feel like the voice is supposed to sound like this, and this is the gold standard. And I'm like, fuck the gold standard.
No, truly.
What is the gold standard? There is no gold standard. There are some voices that sound very weird and
Yeah.
it's cool. Like that's the thing that gets a lot of plays is because it sounds different. I definitely hear like 12-year-olds with vocal nodules that I'm like, yeah, they just sound like they've smoked pack a day because something's wrong with their
That's
voice.
crazy. Yeah, I
Right?
know. Yeah, when they have those super low voices already.
But they have $1 million contracts and I don't. So who am I to judge, right?
I'll
It's like,
say.
uh, is it technically harming their health? I mean, in the long term of it, voice wise, yeah, it's not great, but Miley Cyrus is still making records.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, yeah, her voice is so
it's
low.
so low
Yeah,
now.
when I never got the progression of that. I just like kind of was like, "Oh, hey Montana," and then all of a sudden she
Mhm.
was like had a really like gruff voice, you know? And not I mean, she's still an amazing singer.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
it just took me out of left field. I was like, "Whoa."
yeah, and I'm pretty sure Miley has something called Rinke's edema, which is like swelling of the vocal cords.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so anytime you add extra weight to the vocal cords, it
Mm,
basically drops that frequency. So like they can't stretch, they're not as pliable. So when you're
mm.
hitting higher notes, you're having that stretch of the cords, but if they're really fat and heavy, they can't stretch. But
Oh,
again,
dang.
now
That
she's got like a signature sound that's
she does.
so unique to
Very no.
her.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is what it is. Like she's still putting out records. She sounds very different than she did 15 years ago, but she's
Yeah.
still putting out
God forbid we
records.
change. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it is what it is, but I think that's also why music is really beautiful.
Mhm.
Where do you feel like a lot of your musical influences come from? Like you have very much Patsy Cline vibes at times when I hear
Oh,
you
I love
sing.
Patsy. I have my dog's name Patsy. She's a Beagle Corgi mix.
Okay, perfect.
I feel like a corgi and it's like a banana and a milkshake. Like if there's even just a little bit, it's corgi, you know, and that's what she is. Although she's a great like tracker, you know, we're trying to get her to track things. She's very good at
Mhm.
that now. That's a beagle, but like
Love that.
attitude, all corgi. And so we call her Sassy Patsy. And I love Patsy. I did a lot like I grew up on her, of course,
Mhm.
and
The artist, not the dog,
yeah,
just to
yeah, yeah.
clarify.
The
Okay.
artist,
Yeah.
Patsy Cline, and Wynonna Judd. Oh, I love Wynonna.
Oh.
So when I was just getting out of like survival mode, like because when I was 16 and some things had happened, I had never told my mom and dad about anything that had happened in foster care before that.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I just had all of this. I internalized it all. See, my brother, he was very like any emotion he had, you know.
Mm,
And so they
very
had
outward.
those like talks. Like mom had to sit down and be like, "What is wrong with you? Like what's wrong?" Um and me, I internalized and I just tried to be the perfect little person because if even though like they said I was our forever home, like I'm our caseworker, you they're still like in the back of your mind, "Oh, I could have to move
Right.
to
But
another
is this
home."
really my forever home? Am
Yeah,
I gonna do
if I
something
act
wrong?
up.
Right. Are they gonna
Yeah.
kick me out?
Yeah, and I did act up. I did not act up because, I was obviously a traumatic child and winging off all those drugs and
Of
things like
course.
that. You know, you're feeling emotions you don't usually want to feel, or you're like, you know, you're just having to learn to live again, or at all, you know.
Yeah.
And then me, Matthew, we were going to speech therapy. That's why I loved that you had that background,
Mhm.
um, because we had to learn how to like open our mouth and talk correctly and swallow our spit and, you know, just keep our head up.
Wow.
Because we just like walk with our head, you know.
Oh my God. I mean, you're
Yeah.
traumatized. You're like shells of your, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. And
Of course
so,
that was the response.
yeah. And thankfully, my mom never stopped. You know, my mom and
Mm.
dad, kept us they kept us accountable, and thankfully and disciplined, and every little, I mean, there was not a day we went by that we weren't working on, you know, something with our speech or just ourselves. um so when I was starting to homeschool, and my mom had me like, each day I'd wake up in the morning and I'd write a memory down, and then I'd write a devotional. So the good and the bad and the music.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we talk about it. And then I think my mom started realizing that like there was a lot to unpack there. And she's like, oh, maybe we should do some therapy too, in case there's things that, she doesn't know how to help me heal
Mm-hmm.
from. Um, but one thing that really helped me was Wynonna Judd, because my mom loves Wynonna Judd, and so did I. It was Wynonna and Miranda. We loved them. But
Mm.
like the first two albums of Wynonna Judd, when we were starting to redo my room, my mom wanted me to feel like just more confident and stuff. We would put those two albums on repeat, like constantly. And like the Girls with Guitars song, I don't know,
Mm.
Girls with Guitars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love that song. And I was like, I want to play guitar, you know? And that's when
Oh.
how I picked it up. But Wynonna was a very big influence for me. Demi Lovato, because I loved her emotion,
You have
and
a
she
very
sang hard
similar
things.
like look to Demi. You
Really?
yeah, like
It's
you could be a
probably
doppelganger for Demi Lovato.
shut
Yeah,
up.
I
Oh
feel like
my
her mouth is
gosh.
more gigantic, but like you have like a very
Wait, I
similar
love
like
that.
look for sure.
She's so awesome. I love her. And I think it's I'm Hispanic too, and so is she. And
Gotcha.
my birth father was full blood Hispanic,
Mm-hmm.
and then my birth mother was native. Um
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, but also I think German too. Like,
Okay.
um so I have like those two, and that's the other thing about like growing up, like I never got those cultures, and sometimes I feel like I miss it and I don't even know it.
Right, like a
It's really
missing
weird.
puzzle piece of you or something.
Yeah, and just like I love Latin music, and I love Spanish music, like just like, and then I love like learning about Native American. I don't know, I just try to like learn.
That's so interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I feel pulled to it. It's just awkward too. Like I'm like, oh, here, can y'all accept me?
Yeah.
Even though I don't know and I wasn't raised that way, I still miss it. Even though I never had it. I don't know. It's a weird
I could
feeling.
see a piece too, and maybe this is totally wrong. Tell me if it's wrong. Where
Mm.
if it's like you're trying to forget so much of where you came from, or like heal
Yeah.
from where you came from, and like the cultural piece is maybe a little bit of that, where you're like, okay, like where do I put that? Like it's such a it's a part of me, obviously, like in how I look and in my hair and all of those things that come along with a certain cultural background.
Yeah.
But like where does that fit in to life that I have now when it's
Yeah.
not like my current parents' cultural background and like their mom and dad. Like I
Yeah.
could see how that would be complicated.
Yeah. And then it's like, and it's never like I'm missing anything now, like from my family, or, or that my mom and dad aren't just the most amazing saint people ever.
Absolutely.
Um, and so I just struggle with that. Like, I don't ever want them to think that like that they're not enough, because that's not it at all.
Yeah.
I just struggle with those feelings, and I'm like, where do I put that? You know?
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so I love Demi Lovato.
Mm.
And I'm so glad you said that. And then I like it's Demi, Wynonna, Patsy, um, and Kenny Rogers. I love Kenny
That is
Rogers.
okay.
Yeah, I know. It's so left field. But like his storytelling.
So we have Stone Cold and then the Gambler.
Yes,
Like we
Damso.
just sure. Like why
Yeah,
not?
I know. He has this one song called She Rides Wild Horses.
Okay.
And it's literally about a girl just working a 9 to 5 job in a diner, but in her dream, she's riding wild horses. And the very first time I'd ever felt like loved in foster care wasn't by anyone, it was by a horse. It was in my last home.
Hmm.
And So, like, sometimes, like, in my dreams, I ride white horses, like, truly. I can't wait to have
Wow.
horses. And before I was pursuing music, I wanted, like, a horse farm where traumatic kids could come and feel, because horses
Mm.
reflect you and they meet you where you're at, like, they're emotional regulators, just like
Mhm.
cats are.
Mhm.
Um, and so, yeah, and so, like, I don't know, and maybe it might just be that one song, but no, I like a lot of songs by him. Um, and I just love his storytelling and his voice, like, he can say a story and not have to be crazy vocal, but
Mhm.
it still get across.
It's very commanding. Like
Yeah,
Kenny has like a commanding
yeah,
delivery in a way. Yeah.
truly, yeah, and then I love Demi because she says it and she's commanding, and, like, The Warrior, like, I love that song,
Mm.
um, because, she's being very vulnerable and and I just wanna be able to say, like, be able to, whether I'm speaking it kind of or barely vocal, like very like loud or
Mhm.
doing all these crazy noodles with my voice, I can still get the point across.
Mhm.
And then Adele.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta have Adele.
Heck
I
yeah.
would just sit in my room all the time and just sing those songs like for the albums back to back. So those are probably like some of my main influences.
Mhm.
Um And then just I don't know, I love all kinds of music though. Anything I
Mhm.
connect with. I'm a big lyric person, but I
Mm.
do love jazz music. Like or like old 50s,
Mhm.
40s.
Like the Billie Holiday type
Yeah.
of vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Etta James, like
Yeah.
that type of, yeah.
Yeah, and just like listening to that in the
Ella.
background.
Yeah.
And like Snoop Dogg says, bluegrass or green grass, it's all the same.
Don't threaten me with a good time because I can do the whole chorus of Forgot About Dre. But like I know, and it's like that full depth, right? And I think what I love about someone like an Ella Fitzgerald, when you
Mm,
have like in
yeah.
jazz music, that like deep sultry of like, look at me, I'm as
Yeah.
helpless as a kitten up
Yes.
a tree. And when you listen to like your Adele's,
Love
and you
it.
hear that like elongation of the consonants, right? And like
Yeah.
Skyfall, this is the
Oh,
end.
I love that
Hold
song.
your breath and count to 10. Like it's
Yeah.
just a difference of the delivery. And I feel like we're all just compilations of our favorite artists. Like
Truly.
Tyler has been on a big AI rant of like Suno is ruining music, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's for another day. But in like the carryover of what we all do as artists, I feel like we all steal a little bit of we've heard this from this artist in the way that they're singing something,
Yeah.
and we take a little piece of that for ourselves. On my best day, I could never sing like Christina Aguilera, but her first album, I would sit in my room with like a little Fender amp and a microphone, and I would just sing over and over and over and just like in the mirror. Christina, Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, all of like the
Yeah.
big voice belters that there's just something about it. I would watch them and I'm like, how do you get your mouth so big? Like
To
just
like
like them,
yeah,
yeah, like them, like how
no,
does
yeah,
that level of sound come from a human body? And
truly.
Christina Aguilera is like 4'10". She's like a teeny person. I'm like, how do you sound like a gorilla and you're like the littlest girl? Like you weigh 90 pounds soaking
Truly.
wet. And
Yeah,
it's like this gigantic wall of sound
yeah.
that could never replicate. So I'm like, maybe I should instruct instead. Like, it's like one of those things because I feel like
Aw.
when you are an artist, you have to commit so much time into that craft, and I'm as logical as I am artistic. Like it's such a 50-50 split.
That's a good combination though.
It is to like pay your bills, but like that's when I need people like Tyler that he's like, let's buy 1,000 gumball machines and everything will be fine. And I'm like, no, let's back up a little bit. But yes, like the only reason I live in Nashville is because of Tyler Davis. Like that
Yeah.
was not on my bingo card. Like,
Oh,
oh, I'm
dang.
gonna move to Nashville in my late 30s. Like I never, like why? Like why would I do that? I never would have done that. So it's like you said, the good, the bad, and the music. It's taking all of it for what it is. And I feel like when you talk, and you touched about on this a little bit already. So you're 25, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm so behind. I'm like,
Oh,
oh my
yeah.
God, you're so not behind. You're so not
Girl.
behind. You're
That's true.
not
Well, I mean,
behind.
if y'all, yeah, are moving here now, yeah, and y'all have accomplished so much while being here too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I mean, I don't know, it's just like this ticking timetable I made up in my mind,
That's what it
you
is.
know?
It's the one that you made up
I
that doesn't
did.
actually exist, because if you're looking at, okay, maybe I'll live to 80. And girl, and I'm not doing the math perfectly. You're in like the first quarter, right? Like you're like heading into the second quarter.
Mhm.
When I think about artists that I see when they're 50, right? That's still
Yeah,
25 years closer for
that's
me, but
true.
25 years away for you.
Yeah,
That's a long time to
you're
make
right.
additional progress. And I feel like in the industry way, where it seems like, especially for women, it seems like, oh, the thinnest, the youngest, all of those.
Yeah.
I feel like those stereotypes, I hope, are going away
I'm
more
hoping
and
to.
more.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with just weight in general and music, you have like it's I don't know. It can sometimes be a hit and miss,
Mhm.
you know? And it's a struggle. But like then I see girls like one of my favorite persons to watch right now, persons,
Words. Sorry,
words,
fine.
I can't word, but
No, wording is hard.
it is hard. And then I chose to sing them, but is Abby Anderson.
I
She's
don't
an
think I
up and
know her.
coming Nashville artist here,
Okay.
and she's in country music, but she's also Latina, and it's so
Okay.
cool when she incorporate. But she's like Texas roots,
Gotcha.
like my favorite song out right now by her is like um Merry Mariachi Christmas, and I love it,
Okay.
because like she can add that in and then make it country and make it her, but also like, like she has big boobs. Now I have big boobs. Boobs. Like I said words.
Now everyone's like, okay, I'm gonna go watch this live on YouTube because apparently Ava's just a smoke show. Like,
No. But like she embraces that and I get to see her like I pull a lot of like what kind of like what she wears, how it looks
mhm.
on stage because she has big boobs. I hate to be
No,
like
this
this.
is why I love like when Tyler and I host separately, because it's too like Tyler ain't talking to any girls about big boobs. And if he is, I have questions and
No,
I want to
truly,
know
that's
why.
fair.
But like that's why like I'm here for the party, and I love it when he and I have separate episodes because our conversations are so
I
different. It's
probably yeah, I
perfect.
would definitely not be, even
Yeah.
though like multiple
No, it's
but
perfect.
yeah.
It's perfect.
But like I get to pull inspiration from that because she is, way in advance and like on the brisk. Like I can't wait to see her just bloom. Like I want to see her at
Yeah.
CMAs, like she's gonna be there. But I get to like look up to her and we're kind of really similar. It's really weird.
Mhm.
Kismet different things, and I'm so glad I found her. But like there is someone out there that's like you who
Yeah.
might be a little further that you can like kind of study. There's nothing wrong with studying people, how they did
Mhm.
things. I mean, we're all a product of different trailblazers. And so like and that's a big thing of me is like, yes, I might have more weight on me, but like and that's what the struggle is like I used to be this tiny little girl, 17, singing at these gigs, and I'm not that anymore, obviously.
Mhm.
But I'm getting better at like just like positivity and like
Yeah.
just working out in general. But like I need to like stop looking back at this person and like of me and judging me now, because
Yeah.
then it kind of puts you in a freeze. And that's what I was for a while. I was just frozen. That's my
Mhm.
natural response to,
Right. Like the
different
fight,
things.
flight, or freeze, and you're a
Yeah.
freezer.
I'm a freezer for sure. And so, but and it's just like women in country music though. It's just like, or any music,
Mhm.
you
Women in life in general.
yeah.
And I feel like we all like hit those certain levels that something always changes, and whether it's hormones or it's your weight or your wrinkles or your hair
I
texture,
love
or it's
it.
like it's so much stuff. And I had this red pair of pants that I have worn for years, and they were like high-waisted, they had like a cute little bow on them. I wore those things out. They were like my favorite pants.
I love that.
And I don't know why, but like turning the corner of 39 and those pants, and I don't feel like I look necessarily different. I don't
Yeah.
think so. Or like my weight, somehow, some way, those pants now fit like shit.
Aw.
Absolute shit. And I was like, okay, like I can feel bad about this, or I can say, fuck those pants. 30-year-old me wore those pants, and now I'm gonna get even shinier pants.
I love your pants
And
on right now. I don't know if they can see it, but they're so
hold them
cute.
up. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
like track
truly.
pants, but like shiny
Yeah, and I love it.
with
The
an
whole fit,
elastic waist.
honestly.
I'm not mad about it. But it's like,
Always.
and I know that sounds trivial. I know women listening to this are going, "Fuck
Yeah,
those pants." They're
amen.
like, "Yeah, fuck those pants,"
Yeah.
right? But it's the real stuff that we go through. And
Mm.
women, unfortunately, men are judged by their appearance too, but I feel
Yeah,
like women, like, there is just that higher level of burden. For men, I feel like it's more things like how much money do you earn? And like it's more of those types of goalposts.
yeah,
Not that the visuals aren't a thing too, they are, but our goalposts are just different. And it feels like, oh, if I'm not that right weight, or if I didn't get the Botox, or if I didn't do this by that age, like I've just fucked up and I'm a failure.
yeah,
I'm really hoping that we're seeing this trend of life can look different. And I when I was your age,
yeah.
I was married for the first time. I don't know if
Mhm.
you knew that, if I told you that. I was married to
I
someone
I
else.
I well, no, I listened to your podcast.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and you mentioned it before, but,
Yeah.
so I know a little bit.
Yeah, so it's like the things that you feel like you should be doing. And
Yeah.
at the time, at your age, I was like, that's what all my friends are doing. And I remember being mad when I wasn't engaged. I'm like, why hasn't it happened? Like you feel like I've not been chosen. I'm a failure. And I think a lot of times we fall into patterns based on expectations at certain ages. And for
Yeah,
women too, if you want to have kids, it feels like you have to have these boxes checked by a certain age.
yeah.
And like you said, black sheep, if you decide to do different,
Oh,
then
yeah,
you feel like very outside of the norm. And I'm 39, married for the second time, and
yeah.
Tyler and I are thinking, okay, like, do we want to try to have kids? Have tried a few times, hasn't worked. I'm
Mhm.
also 39. Like, did I miss the window and I fucked up, right? So
Mhm.
and you never know. Like those are just the things that women have to think about that's different than men, because their window seems so much wider. And I feel like there's that stereotype in music sometimes that you see these like
Yes.
60-year-old guys with 6-year-old kids and their wives are 30.
Oh my
You know what
gosh,
I'm saying?
yeah.
But like
It's a little bit
women,
easier.
we don't have that option.
Yeah.
Like men can like do all the things, do the behind the scenes, wait till they're successful, and then they can do the family thing.
Mhm.
Women don't have that option unless we're freezing eggs, doing a surrogate, or we're adopting kids.
Yeah, yeah,
We just factually, biologically do not.
yeah, and which all costs money.
It all costs money, girl.
Yeah,
Trust me. Like I've looked at how much is like freezing your eggs, IVF. Well,
yeah,
unless you have 30 grand lying around, because
yeah,
that stuff's expensive too. It's just so much, the weight of it. It feels so big. And so when you're trying to do these music industry moves and it's like, "Oh, I'm 25, I'm so behind." It's like, yeah, by the numbers of life, you're not. But when
yeah,
it feels like we have these goalposts and check boxes in life, I can understand why you say I feel like I'm behind.
yes, and yeah, I honestly just need to get rid of these check boxes.
Mhm.
Um, but and then, like, just, like, kind of the struggle growing up, I feel like I just missed a lot, like, I feel like I
Yeah.
wouldn't be as behind as I am now.
Oh, it's like you got a late start.
Yeah, had I cultivated it younger, and
Absolutely.
so it's a struggle. But and then I, like, look at it, I'm like, I had these experiences and I got great songs out of them,
Yeah.
and they connect with people, and I want music to be as healing for people as it is for me. So I'm like, well, then I'm thankful for it,
And
It's just
that's
like a
what see, and that's where I
good or
wanna
bad day.
and that's where I wanna challenge you on the freezing thing, because I
Okay.
feel like maybe that's something you've told yourself, but based on what you just described, I feel like you're so not a freezer.
Really?
Because no, because 'cause you're writing songs, you're smiling despite of it, you're doing the
Sure.
Nashville thing, like, and I know you're not living here yet, but, like, you're coming back and forth every few months. I feel like you probably do more activity and have overcome more than you give yourself credit for.
Maybe. Maybe I just think that I freeze. I don't know. I did freeze a lot. as a kid and things, so
Maybe just an old story you've carried through because to
it could
me,
be, that could be it.
at 25 years old, someone who is quote unquote freezing is someone who's addicted to drugs. They have no career prospects. They're just sitting in mom and dad's house. They're not doing anything.
That's fair.
And I do not think that's what you're doing. Like you're making the calls, you're setting up gigs, you're networking, you're doing all of these things to make it happen. And I don't think that's the definition of someone who's freezing.
Okay, yeah, you're right then. We're fixing things here. We love it.
Exactly.
Oh.
This is what I love about the podcast too, Ava. I go back and listen to them all the time. And
Yeah.
even the ones I listened to that Tyler and I recorded back in May when we started doing this, even those two people don't feel like the same people. And I feel like you're
Oh,
going to be like 6 months, a year removed from this conversation and be amazed by it. Like, whoa, that like my mindset was so different than it is now. And I've done
truly.
all of these things in the past year that I didn't even see coming. And wow, that was such a surprise.
Yeah.
Because we just never know. And I feel like at the point when we have our greatest frustrations is the exact time where something's about to click. Because even for me,
Yeah.
I have moments where I'm like, I don't, do I want to do voice coaching anymore? Do it like it's so much, it feels like so much effort. But then one of
Yeah.
my clients like you comes over and I'm having a great time and I'm like, la la la, everything's fine. And it's
I
like
love it.
yeah, it's like you get in like the dark, shitty place of your brain
Mhm.
that's like, you can't do it.
All the
You're
time.
terrible.
Yeah,
And then you have a good experience and you're like, ah, everything's fine. I don't even know what that was about. Like,
truly.
I
And
don't
like I said,
know.
the good and the bad days. And yeah, I think often maybe, and that's because, and a lot of musicians might relate to this. Like you said earlier, we don't necessarily have a 9 to 5. If we're full
Mhm.
time musicians, um, we have these goals, but they're not as tangible. Like they're tangible. Well, that's a bad way to put that, but like
But it's not like this report is due by Friday at 9 p.m.
yeah.
Like it's
Yeah,
not like that.
it's a goal and it's a dream and you want to get there and we could do everything we can to get there. But like you said, it's not like a deadline thing. And so like sometimes we can lose focus or like put ourselves down if we don't think we're doing what we need to be doing to get there. And so
Mhm.
it's like maybe that's what I feel like sometimes. It's like I'm in a free state, maybe just that day. Like
Yeah.
I just feel like, oh my gosh, like it's
It's
not
like
gonna.
the limbo of the day. Like what like
Yeah.
almost like an aimlessness of what do I do today? And even just
Yeah.
yesterday, Tyler and I will walk for 3 hours at a time. It was very cold yesterday, so it was more
It
like a
was
2 hour
so
walk.
cold.
It was more like
I
a
was gonna say,
2 hour
girl.
walk. I was very frozen by the end of it. But even yesterday, I think he something to the effect of like, maybe I should just be an electrician. Like even for him, he's like, maybe we should just throw it all away. I'm like,
Never.
well, we're here in Nashville, so maybe we should figure it the fuck out. Like we are so infamous for just going in this giant circle of maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that to end up at the same exact point of what we started and the
Exactly.
original goal. But and whether it's being discovered, quote unquote, or whatever it is, you never know the moment of where it's just clicked in. And I wonder with even bigger artists like a Wynonna or a Lainey Wilson, do
Yeah.
do they even have a perception of when it's happening?
Yeah.
What does it feel like to have arrived? What does that actually mean? Because then how many have you seen like Lizzo that have
Yeah.
arrived and then have a fall from grace
Yeah.
because of
That's
whatever
fair.
scandal or whatever
Yeah.
thing? And it's like it's all cyclical. And I think the baseline is what I've come to find is important because even if this house burned to the ground, Tyler and I would still be okay because we have a baseline level of happiness and we're very good about
Yeah.
finding joy.
Yeah.
And it's not contingent upon how much money we have
Yeah.
or what our quote unquote success is. Because if you asked me, do you feel successful? I would already say yes.
Yeah.
Even though like we're not a household name, we're
Yeah.
nobody relatively speaking in the grand scheme of Nashville.
Mhm.
But with the things that we do on a day-to-day basis that make us happy, we already feel extremely successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think you have to take joy in that. The fact that you're able to, and I know you have your dog
That's
walking
true.
thing, but the
Yes, my
like,
dog.
but for the most part, you're sustaining income by playing music and by performing and
True.
doing those things. And the
Very
fact that
true.
you can do that, that to me, it's like you've already had it. You already have it made.
Mhm.
It's just making it even better if you can.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And I remember, like you said with, like, Lainey and, like, when do they feel like they've arrived? I remember watching her documentary, and I think she said it in this, or it might have been
Oh,
an interview, I don't know.
I bet
But
it's
she had
good.
said, like, "I hope I never feel like I arrived." You know?
Mm.
I hope I just keep going to that next step or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And she has done a lot in the past, like, 3, 4 years alone when she's been, like, CMA recognized, I
Yeah.
guess, like,
Yeah.
you know, um,
Where like,
she was always grinding,
oh
but
yeah.
and then I'm very big on, like, listening to, like, podcasts that artists that are, as you would say, making it.
Mhm.
Like Megan Maroney, kind of like she was, like, always doing rounds, just like me and most
Yeah.
artists here doing rounds, putting
Yeah.
their, like, getting their music heard. And then finally Spotify was like, we think we want to put one of your songs on this playlist, and then she kind of blew up. I think it was Tennessee Orange.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
god, that song was huge.
it was very huge. But she was doing what we're doing now. And I think, like you said, even if it's not like we're not like successful in the sense of like fame, we are still successful in the sense that like we're at least doing it, like going arounds and putting our music
Absolutely.
out there, musicians and stuff like that. And yeah, and I think I overthink that too. You're right. Where I don't need to, like, when it feels aimless, like, maybe just count the blessings that day instead.
Yeah.
And like just go about your day.
Yeah, it's like that general gratitude practice. And I also think it depends on what the goal is. And I feel like some of us struggle to have clear-cut goals. I feel
Mm.
like my big overarching goal is if I have a roster of artists that I'm working with privately, that I feel like we just have great rapport, we're rocking and rolling. I would feel like an immense success. But for me personally, I have always felt very comfortable being the sidekick. Like
Oh,
even when
really?
oh yeah, like even when I would play like imaginary, like I had always had a wild imagination when I was a kid, and I would never want to be like Princess Jasmine or like
Oh,
Aladdin. I
wow.
wanted to be Apu. Like I wanted to be the monkey.
Stop,
Like
I love
I
that.
wanted to be or I would make up like my own character, but it
Yeah.
was always a supporting role. And
Wow.
I feel very, like, evenly, like, side by side in my relationship with T, like, we both have equal footing,
Yeah.
but if he goes on to do something national, I know that it won't hurt my feelings, even though for me, I'm like, "Oh, I love singing," and garnering that
Yeah.
attention is nice, but I also know that that attention comes with big responsibility
Mhm.
that for me personally is just kind of not what I'm about. Or
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you got some like giant deal and like all this attention, I would feel awesome because I'd be like, that's my
Oh,
girl.
yeah, you're going with me.
That's my I could coach her. You know what I mean? It's like I've always just been fine for whatever
Yeah.
reason being a supporting character.
That's so cool. Are
But
you an only child?
mm-mm.
L You're the
Youngest of three.
youngest?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's so
Youngest of
surprising
three.
though, kind of.
Really?
Yeah, cause like, I could see that more out of, like, middle or oldest,
Mm,
cause they have to, like, kinda take care.
right. Youngest of three.
Well, and I don't know your background or anything, but,
Mm-hmm.
but usually the babies are kind of like, there's a little more
Oh, we're the
attention on them.
crazy ones. Yeah, we're like the
Yeah.
wild ones. I feel like
Well, I'm a
I've
middle child and I too am crazy,
yeah,
so
and I feel like I've lived up to that youngest child thing in the way that I'm the only one out of us that lives away from like our home of where we grew up, like
Oh,
of
wow.
that town in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And so in that way, and I've had that somewhat wild, like I've both of my husbands, ironically, were musicians, and live here, live there, and you're just kind of going about your business. So I've had that like wild child esque thing that I guess is stereotypical for
Yeah.
a youngest. But there's always been a part of me that is very much a caretaker,
I
kind of like
love that.
the cat like lioness
Yes.
that even though I don't have children in North Carolina, the business that we had, I had a lot of teen students
Yeah.
and they were like my kids.
Mhm.
I mean, like I felt very mama bear with them. And even the
For sure.
patients that I have at the hospital,
Yeah.
I enjoy caretaker roles.
Yeah.
That's just something that I do very naturally.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's almost my calling in a way, especially if I don't end up having children of my own. I feel very satisfied knowing that
Yeah.
I get the opportunity, whether it's a geriatric stroke patient at the hospital or someone like you or a teen in North
Yeah.
Carolina, it doesn't matter. I feel I feel uplifted by uplifting others and helping others.
Oh, I love that.
That's just something that speaks very highly to me.
That's so good. That's so cool and good. Yeah. But yeah, that's just and well, I love you and Tyler's dynamic cuz it's almost what every musician wishes they had
Yeah.
in their person partner. That just supportive, but also and what you do with music alone too.
Yeah.
It's just like such a cool dynamic and it's yeah.
And I feel like that's partly why it works is because if he and I were both performing artists, he and he kind of jokes that behind every great Nashville musician is a spouse in the medical industry, but it's like
Really?
that's kind of our running joke.
Oh my gosh, I love
But
that.
yeah, because it and you have to have both. Like I do not need from Tyler, and this is not a secret. We've said it on other podcasts. I do not need him at this juncture in life to necessarily be financially viable. I wouldn't be mad at it. I'd be like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll work less, great. But it's not what I need. It's the emotional support that he is able to provide and that the home that we
Mm.
walk into every day, if I've had a long day at the hospital, that like I can just fold in his arms and feel like I'm being reset in my nervous system. Like
Oh,
that
I love that.
like that's the piece that I need. I don't need him to pay my bills.
Yeah.
And again, if that happens someday, that'd be great. Um, I always joke with him like I'm gonna cash in one day. It's my long-term investment plan.
Yes, your
But
retirement plan for
yeah,
sure.
exactly. But it's like that works well for us, and for other people it may not. But we do a really good job at like zooming out and seeing the big picture, and not every
Mm.
day. Like yesterday was a day where we're walking and he just had a lot on his mind and he was really frustrated about certain things and
Oh, yeah.
but then
Amen.
yeah, and it's like you always circle back around and you come back together.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like what is your ideal? And I feel like for you guys that want to be the star, like you want to be the artist,
Mhm.
it's helpful to have someone who's okay with being background. And it's not background like
Yeah.
I'm ignored, like, hello, like we have a podcast together and I'm doing an episode. Like
Truly. Yeah.
it's not like I'm invisible,
No, no,
but
yeah.
I don't feel the need to be the one on the stage performing. And trust me,
Yeah.
people ask me all the time. They're like, "Why don't you perform with him? Why don't you sing on stage? Why don't you do this?"
Yeah.
And I had a period in life where I did,
Yeah.
but it didn't light me up the
No.
way that just working with someone and helping someone else thrive does.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. You got your fulfillment from this and not necessarily that.
Yeah,
That
like
might have been a plus, but like
right, like the big lights on stage. I love sitting in the audience and seeing someone I've worked with perform and being like, "Yeah, like you nailed it. Like we hit it out of the park." Or like I'm taking
I love
notes like
that.
I've done with you and like we
Yeah.
regroup later and be like, "Okay, what were the observations?" I that like that's the stuff that gets me out of bed. I
I
love that
love that.
stuff all day in the streets. I love it. It's
And
my
I loved
favorite.
when you gave me notes. I was so excited that you got to hear me live finally, just because it's different, live than like when you're in a lesson,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
and I was like, oh, I can't wait to like hear what she has to say about it. That
Mhm.
constructive criticism or just what I might have did well too, so because
Right. And I feel like there's a lot of highlighting on all of the things that went wrong. And I don't prefer to do that. I want to look at all of the things that are working really, really well
Mhm.
because I know how artist brain works anyway. You're probably already focusing on all the shit that you did wrong
Truly.
and not the things that went really, really well.
Yeah.
And that's just how I personally appreciate supporting people. And so if we go back a little bit, so you and I met through Elizabeth B,
Yes, yeah.
who referred you, and I feel like we had a lot of immediate connecting points. Like you said you had been to speech therapy when you were a kid.
Yes, yeah, we did. And then cats. We loved cats.
Cats,
My name before Ava used to be Brianna.
which is wild because my formal name is Brian. Like I can't,
Ah,
that's wild. And isn't your
yeah.
birthday near mine too?
We're both Leos.
Yeah.
I'm August 10th.
Yeah, I'm the 14th.
Yeah, yeah. It was
I
crazy.
I hands
It was a very
down
kismet moment, I feel like.
I always get along with other Leos. It's like an iron sharpen iron thing.
Yeah.
Always, always. And Tyler thinks that's like total fluff. I don't care.
Oh, no, no. It's
Always.
a understanding.
I feel like Leo personality, it's like a quiet fierceness
Yeah. It's
because
a
you can
lion, you know?
it is like you can just be quiet, but usually we have like nice, beautiful, crazy hair. And it's just like
Yeah.
it's like being noticed without saying a word. Like you walk into a room
It's a different
differently.
aura.
It's
Yeah.
a different energy when you're Leo vibes.
Yeah.
And one of
Truly.
my other clients is a Leo too, like same thing. And he and I are like right as rain, like
Yeah.
best buddies. It always.
You can tell. And it's so weird and people are gonna be like, oh, it's the Leo.
Like,
The
here these
Leo.
bitches go talking about astrology.
But I love astrology.
Me too.
And but like when I go into rooms, I can tell if they're like, or if in general if they're a fire sign. You can tell. You know, and and
Hmm.
and it's so cool to like know. And like before we even like realized we were Leos, we I could sense,
Good energy.
yeah, good energy. Um,
Do you know your Chinese zodiac?
I was about to ask you that.
I'm a tiger.
I'm a horse.
I'm Tiger Leo fire
I
sign.
love that. That's it. Like that's on steroids. I love it.
I'm like a burning cat. Like that's literally what has happened.
I was so glad I was a horse because I loved horses.
That's perfect for
But
you.
yeah,
And I
so
feel
it's
like
like
you have a horse-like mane of hair. Like it's
ah,
wavy
I try.
and it's like dark and full. I have
I love that.
complete like
You have a
ravenous
mane,
lion.
but like
Yeah.
a great mane. But I love it.
Yeah, it's
Like you
complete
said, it's
mane.
like yeah. Yeah, and I sometimes like when I braid my hair, I like dream. I was like, I can't wait to braid my horse's hair one day.
Love
Whenever
it.
that day comes.
But your hair can still be brushed. That's why it's nice.
Yes, I can
You can't
brush through
brush
it.
this.
Yeah.
There's no your hand will just get caught. Like there's no brushing curly hair.
It's so beautiful though.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, and to have good head of hair. I feel like that's a struggle now sometimes and so I just try to be as organic as possible
Me too.
when it comes to that.
My hair has never looked shittier when I would dye it, just like bleach it. Just
Put all kinds of stuff in it.
I
Yeah.
used to have like very bleach blonde hair. I would straighten it, but I lived in
You
Pennsylvania.
did?
Oh my God, yeah. I used to have like a reverse bob where it's like short in the back, long in the front,
You
bleach
did
blonde.
not.
Oh yeah, I'll
Oh
send you
my gosh,
pictures.
I have to see that.
But I feel like living in Pennsylvania too because it's not as humid.
Mhm.
So, and especially in the colder months, so you can very easily straighten your hair and get away with it. But then when I moved to the South, it was like, oh, give it up. Like it was failed effort. Like just there's no point.
That's fair because the South will humble you so fast when it comes to your
No
hair.
point. Like unless you live in like Nevada or like where
Truly.
there's no humidity, like
Yeah. Yeah, or like a dry heat. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then there was something I was gonna say, but I forgot. Oh darn.
about our fabulous manes of hair.
Yeah, truly. No, astrology. About
Oh yeah,
astrology.
yeah.
Um, I have I forget their technical term, but they read your like your chart.
Oh,
Um,
like an astrologist or like a like
astrologist.
a oh my God, what is not like a horoscope reader? What are those called?
I
Like a not a medium, but like okay, I know where you're going in a
Yeah, but
direction.
an astrologist.
Again,
Yeah.
words are hard.
Ugh, words are hard. But and I did it for the first time, not this past year, but the year before that. I was like, I just because I've always felt drawn to stars. I mean, it's just like back in the day. I mean, like that's how you just traveled with stars and
Mhm.
different things like that. Like it's in our like code. Um, and I was like, I'm gonna see like what she said. So she had to do like my whole life chart. And she was a Leo
Mm.
too. And she had all these like what was really cool about it was in our chart, we none of us had like me or her had water signs in it. And
Hmm.
so and she was like, you do things to like feel emotions so you can understand them.
Huh.
And I was like, no way, because I try and maybe that's why I detach myself a lot easily from emotions sometimes. Like, although I'm an emotional person and I write emotional things,
Mhm.
um, but it's not necessarily like, am I an emotional person? It's just like trying to understand things that I might not be able to understand emotionally. Like a
Okay.
Cancer, they're like super emotional people. They can usually pick
Mhm.
up on other people's emotional. And I'm intuitive in that way, but like hearing that, like, I have no water signs in my chart at all,
Interesting.
And so like, and neither did she. And so she gave me like really cool insight on different things I would have never even realized had I not talked to her.
Mhm.
And so I always encourage people to like at least get their chart read because for at least once, like
Yeah.
your whole life. And she was like, "You're coming out of the metamorphosis now. Like things were really, really heavy. It's about to start getting light." I was like, "Thank the
You're like,
Lord."
"Thank Jesus."
I literally said that. I was like, "Oh, Milana," because like, and I what, and things were so heavy there for a while. But like, she's telling me things that like I went through as a kid that she didn't even know. Like, she didn't want to know anything. She just want to know like your name, date, birth, where,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
the stars, like, and and it's just so cool. It's so cool to hear. I'm not like betting my whole life on this
Right.
thing, but
Right.
it's so cool to learn. I've never been closed minded to learning anything, and she was cool. So like, I 100% believe in like astrology.
I
Just
feel like the thing I've resigned myself to is that I don't know everything. I feel like there's just parts of the universe, part of the human experience that I will never fully understand because I feel like there are people that are tapped in to different sensitivities, like you said, like they're very
yeah,
empathetic or like they can sense things or people who have passed away or and I feel
yeah.
like it's very small minded to think that what we see in front of us is exactly the only thing. And again, I'm like as
Oh yeah,
logical as I am a dreamer. I'm so 50-50.
yeah,
So I'm like, no, like the scientific method is real and like still get your flu shot. But also,
yeah.
like, are there also things maybe that I don't understand
Mhm.
that there are different perspectives on? I'm also open for that too. I've definitely had certain experiences where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we got this rock and this tells us that I'm like, ah, really? Really?
I
You
don't know if
know?
I've been the rock person or the crystal
Yeah.
person
I'm
yet. I'm
like,
not that far
ah. You're
there
like, I'm not
yet.
that far down Alice in
Yeah.
Wonderland rabbit hole. But I'm like, ah, I don't know about that. But there are certain things that it's like, okay, I think it's interesting that people have maybe a connectivity to things that I'm just not tapped into.
Yeah.
And even in the way of like the manifestations, I think you and I have talked about that a little bit.
Yes.
There's this one app that I use. If I've not sent it to you, I'll have to,
Yeah.
called Activations. And I heard about it on a podcast.
Mhm.
And it sounds like you are basically brainwashing yourself. Like it's that like cerebral, like they could tell me to like kill a politician in this and like that
Oh,
type.
oh, just kinda like
Yeah, but
meditative
it's
and
like you are an incredible person and
mantras and
yeah, like just all of
yeah.
these things, but they also have it for specific activities. If you're walking, if you're going to bed, if you're doing chores, if you're cooking, it's like my
Yeah.
food nourishes my body and I make healthy meals. And I'll do it like manifesting $5 million and doing like
Yes.
for like
Amen.
all of
I do
these,
that too.
yeah, it's just
Hands
like
down.
all of these opportunities that Tyler and I talk about, and I tell him, and I feel like those are the moments he thinks I'm a little bit crazy, but he's okay with it if it works in his favor. I'm like,
Sometimes you just have to have delusion.
yeah, I'm like, I've been working behind the scenes for months now. I don't know what to tell you, bud. Like, I've just had my hands out activating the world. And
Yes.
because I do, whether it's like just positivity or that forward thinking nature, I feel like there is the ability in our human bodies and our brains that we can manifest and make things come true. There's this really good book called, I think it's called The Big Leap, but
Mhm.
it talks about your upper limit beliefs. That
Mm.
there's somewhat of a psychological principle that when you believe, whether it's money, so if I'm only earning $100,000 a year, and okay, that's my cap, and then the things to do to earn $150,000 a year, you and
Yeah.
I talked about micro habits.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I need to do this or I need to do that, and you somewhat avoid those things because you're used to that $100,000 a year and what that requires.
Mhm.
Because what you need to do to get you to the next limit
Yeah.
will feel like such a big push. And your
Yeah.
brain goes into protective mode and it's
Yeah.
like, no, 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 we're comfortable down here. No, 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 don't go to that opportunity. Don't sing in front of all those people because you're only used to singing in front of 50 people. That's
Yeah.
500 people.
Very
That
true.
that takes a different level in you to get to that point. And then you
100%.
self-sabotage. And then you're like, "Oh, I have this big opportunity, but I showed up late for it, or I forgot about it, or I did this, or I did that, or I got sick." and then I couldn't do it. And your
Yep.
body and your brain will self-sabotage.
All the time. All the time.
Mhm.
I'm 100% believer in, like, we're energy too, you
Oh my
know?
god, yes.
Yeah, and so, like, energy, like, what energy you're putting in is what you're gonna get, you know? And so, like,
Mhm.
I that's why and I there's just, like, been so many bad things, and if you focus on the bad, like, you'll never get out of it almost.
Yeah.
And so, like, I feel like I've kinda lived proof of that. And so, I'm 100% believe that there's just a little bit more than what meets the eye, you know,
Mhm.
for sure, and how we talk to ourselves and other people. So, yeah, I'm always for the, like, having to step into that and you wanting it so bad, but, like, letting yourself do it and not self-sabotage it, you
Yeah.
know,
I feel
for
like I
sure.
I very rarely run into uncomfortable situations with people,
Mhm.
and I think it's one, I really pay attention to what other people need and how I'm communicating things and making sure that's done in an effective way. But conflict in general is not a big part of my life. And with Tyler, like we'll have conversations all the time where we will say out loud, this is very uncomfortable for me, but these are things that we have to say. But we also have that safety with each other. Like that
Yeah.
can be a little bit different depending upon the context. But I
Yeah.
feel like most people are good intentioned and they have good intentions in mind.
Yeah.
So when you're able to do that effectively, most people are pretty forgiving.
Very true.
I think it's when things are unclear or they're not explained that
Mhm.
people's brains will run away with them, and
Yeah.
then we kind of assume the worst, or we assume that this person had an ill intention
Mm.
when maybe they didn't at all, and it's like it just gets very jumbly.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you're putting out the right energy to people, you're gonna get the right energy back.
Yeah. Because people feed off of your energy too. Yeah.
Totally. And I feel like if someone's not for you, whether it's a fan or a
Yeah.
client or a boss or a whomever, those things kind of just like weed themselves out.
They really do. And it all kind of works out. Like, and because I've had plenty of situations where I was like in different music situations where probably shouldn't have been spending as much time there, you know, and it kind of does, the universe kind of does like
Yeah, like it
fade it out
washes
in
it
a
out.
weird, like, natural way.
It really does, and even if I have, and it's very rare at this point, but if I have had a difficult client, they kinda just, like, take care of themselves somehow, like, they
Yeah.
just it's like they don't wanna pay the money, or they don't wanna do
Yeah.
this, or they can't commit to times,
Mm.
and I've even had clients where I will tell them, like, "Hey, I've noticed you cancel a lot, and while I'm happy to keep getting money from you, uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think this is for you." And it's a
Yeah.
very, like, easy parting of ways,
Yeah.
when you're just straightforward and honest about things. I feel like
True.
it
I feel,
goes
yeah.
easier.
And I feel like for some reason now it's like there's this like bad connotation when you're straightforward with someone.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, like we all have to tiptoe around each other's feelings. I'm like, "Ugh, that helps no one.
Mhm.
You know, like if if you don't think it's helping you or them or just in anything, you know, like
Yeah.
just don't waste energy on it, like trying to figure out how is this gonna work out, you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, I like when people are straightforward because it just gives you freedom to respect that person, you know, just as much as, and so they can respect you too. And so yeah, I feel like
Mhm.
there's a lot of that though, like the tiptoeing around feelings and
I think so, and I think in social media world where we can hide behind our phones and our computers, it's made that a lot easier,
very, yeah.
and people are not in person interacting the same that they used to, and that changes things a lot too.
Mm,
But, I really just feel, and even when I'm talking to a client and I have to deliver something of like, "Okay, this could have been better," there's certain ways to phrase things that
yeah.
you don't have to be like, "That really sounded like shit." Like, what unless that's something they're into. It's like going to a boot camp workout class where they're screaming in your face, like, I personally am not signing up for that
Nah.
class, but some people are really into that.
That's fair.
And that's their thing. But a lot of times I will send out, I don't know if I did it with you, but what I'll send to a lot of people now is, how do you like to be communicated with? Do you prefer straightforward communication? Are you
Oh,
a
yeah.
black and white thinker? I
I
have
like that.
several clients that are maybe on the autism spectrum,
Yeah.
and they tend to be very black and white explaining type of folks, but not
Oh,
everybody's like that,
I
right?
like that though, like figuring out their communication patterns and stuff.
Yeah, and some people,
That helps.
they need a little bit more grace. Um, and we're all just coming from different backgrounds and like floating traumas
Yeah.
I don't think we have to handhold each other in society, but I do think it helps to understand where someone is coming from, which
Mm,
which is why I love doing this format and I love these conversations and these podcasts, because when people learn like about you and
mhm.
all the things you went through in childhood, I guarantee there's so many people that are like, holy shit, like didn't see that one coming. Cause if they met you on the street, like, oh, she's like the sweetest bubbly girl. Like I bet she's from like Ohio or something, or like just like very like straight
I'm so
laced. I bet her dad's like an accountant
um
and it's just
I
fine.
love that. No, I know, and that was where I kind of trailed off, and I meant to say like that is what I kind of struggled with. Like when I first went into college, I was gigging, and doing things, and um, Don Bailey, an amazing saxophone player,
Mm.
like he's just amazing guy. He was one of my professors, and we had a vocal group called Jazz Cats, and
Love that.
it's so
Jazz
fun.
cats.
Girl, you would have loved
I
it.
would.
So there would be like 5 girls, 5 guys, and we would just do all these fun pieces and like doing like the different harmonies and things like that. And that's what I kind of miss about Jazz Cats, like the harmonization. I that came so easily there. So I need to like
Mm.
practice that now so I can do that more
One more
easily.
goal. The list
Literally,
just
yeah.
keeps getting longer.
And right? And um but so some of the girls in there, it it was a struggle, because like I had a friend and I was gigging, and but then they see like me gigging, and then they see my parents and how supportive they are.
Mhm.
And and then she made some comments like,
Oh yeah.
like, well, it's just easier for you because you have such supportive parents, and you're where you're at, and then made some comments about things, and I just pulled her into one of the practice rooms. I was like, "Girl," because like I don't like to trauma dump on people, but
Mhm.
sometimes like I because I did struggle with the like I am a bubbly person
Mhm.
naturally, um, and I don't like to harp on like I don't like to stay too much in that place.
Right.
So like I don't show it often. And
Yeah.
so I've came a long way. So like it's sometimes like I have to sometimes I don't know, like it's a struggle because sometimes people think that I'm where I'm at just because like I have supportive parents, and
Mhm.
you know and yes, I'm somewhat talented, but like I don't know. I think if anything, it's the stories I have to tell that help me get as far as I have gotten right now,
Yeah.
which thankfully, because that's kind of why I want to do it. So I have to get out of my head sometimes about that too, just like the comments that are made about it,
Oh my god, yeah. And
because I'm like, if only you knew.
and I'm always like so split on it because I can appreciate and understand where some people do really struggle getting over certain traumas, and you would have every reason to be like, I cannot function because of XYZ when I was growing up, and
Mhm.
somehow have surpassed. And I don't know psychologically enough to know like what is the differentiating factor, because
Yeah.
there's plenty of people who, even when they get loving supporting parents, can still struggle for the rest of their lives and end up having their own drug addiction problems and all of those.
It's so true.
And
Yeah.
and some people, it seems like, will wear that as a badge of honor, as an excuse of, I can't do this because of XYZ. That's why I don't think that you're a freezer, because
That's fair.
you are like proof positive of, no, I'm going to rise above. I'm going to do more.
Yeah.
And and again, where people do get frozen, it's also understandable how that can happen.
Yeah.
And I feel for those people and it makes sense. But at the same time, what is that level where we all have to go, okay, I need to do something else. I need to propel forward. I
Yeah.
think and any one of us could find some reason why we can't. And
Yeah.
so meeting people that are like, yes, but despite all of it,
Mhm.
it's extremely inspirational. You know, some people grow up in really toxic religions or they have
Mm.
abusive drug-addled parents
Mhm.
or they whatever. I mean, military family that moved all over the place and never felt
Yeah.
settled and there's so many reasons, especially today, that we could just not do
Mhm.
and like kudos that I don't think you're a freezer. I think you're yes, I know
I'm
you're
glad you said that.
25
I
and
think
you're
I needed to
so
hear
old.
that.
But yeah, I feel like that's a lesson for everybody that whenever we want to throw judgment on someone of, oh, they just have it easier,
Mhm.
that they don't understand the whole story.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why I that and that's why I love to know people and like especially with musicians, like like I love to know like what they're seeing, like what got them there,
Right, like
you
what
know?
is the thing? And I think it looks different for everyone and there's no like secret special formula.
Yeah.
And it is a journey for all of us, like you, me, Tyler, Elizabeth B, all of us involved. We all have something that we have to figure out and go through because I feel like when you see the social media and you see the pretty podcast and you see the gigs and you see all of this,
Yeah.
it just seems like, wow, they've got it figured out.
Yeah.
I'm sure you see so many people that you wish that you could just be them and you're
Oh
like,
my gosh.
they've got it figured out. And
So many
but none of
times.
us do.
Yeah.
None of us do. And even if there's ever a moment where people think that Tyler and I have it figured out, they don't see me when I'm having a 12-hour day at the hospital.
Mm.
They don't see
Mhm.
me when I am helping to transfer like a very gigantic person to the toilet. Like in the hot
Truly.
like they're
Yeah,
like
doing the nitty-gritty things.
right, like those nitty-gritty behind the scenes, like
Yeah.
they don't see you in your room at night when you're just like shaking in the corner because you're having some sort of panic attack. They don't acknowledge and they don't see those things. And we
Yeah.
just see the pretty picture. But I feel like the more that we can speak honestly in these types of forums and really understand that we don't have it figured out. No one
Yeah.
does. We all come from different backgrounds and no one's having an easy time.
Truly. Yeah, even if you think they are, they aren't.
No, no. I mean, can we say that some people are set up better for success than others?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But then are there some mindset things that people still are personally struggling with or they have other diagnoses
Mhm.
like severe depression that
Yeah.
I mean like there's just so many things that we just don't always see, I think is the main takeaway.
Very. Yeah. And one thing I loved hearing once was when we envy someone, like what they're doing, kind of like it's just something that was reflected in us so that kind of tells us we could do that too. We just have to let ourselves,
Mhm.
and so when I recognize different things I'm like envious of from people, um, I wouldn't even say envious, like I don't think I let it get that far, but
Mhm.
I'm like, man, I want to do that too. Like I recognize like
Mhm.
that's just your kind of like higher self telling you like that's possible. That's why
Exactly.
you want that.
And I think that's the comfort of knowing that the dream is possible,
Yeah.
because if you've seen someone do it before, it can totally be on the table for you. And I will take full ownership that I have had very I'm not proud of this moments where I will see someone else's social media, and especially when they're living in like LA or they're living in Nashville, and I'll be like like I can't even
All
follow
the
them on social
time.
media and I will like unfollow them because I'm too jealous.
Yeah.
I've had moments where I'm like, I'm so jealous of this person, and I would never admit it out loud. And maybe I can now because I feel like I'm finally living up to my full potential. But when you look at moving to a place like Nashville, and
Yeah.
again, the good, the bad, and the music, like Tyler and I were looking at our expenses yesterday. We're like, it is really expensive to have this house, and it's really expensive to live here.
Oh yeah.
But also, things are better here. And like, if you want to be in the industry, you have to give up something. Like Tyler and I
Yeah.
don't go on vacation
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we want to have a home that is unfortunately more expensive, but we can have both have private studio spaces where we can work, we can see clients.
Yes, yeah.
It's in a safe neighborhood. It's more, what are you willing to sacrifice that the other person has done and you're just not willing to
Truly.
do it? Are you willing to work 80 hours a week? Are you willing to keep your full-time job and do your side hustle while that picks up? So
Yeah.
the things that we get jealous of, I honestly think is us just being pissed at ourselves
Yeah,
because
exactly.
we see the other person doing the things that we're not willing to do.
Amen.
And
Amen,
then
sis.
we see them taking like bomb ass photos and like taking videos of themselves
Oh,
and we're like,
yeah.
the audacity. Like,
Yeah, yeah, and like, wow, the
bah!
content, how dare they have
How
to
dare you? How dare you? There's something that I love. There's a couple ladies that I follow on Instagram, and they have talked a lot about like being cringe or
Mm,
being audacious. And
yeah.
like, you know, that you've been in a group of girls and you're talking about someone else and you're like, oh my God, like they're so cringe. I just can't believe they posted that. I've been in those circles.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
also on the other side going, well, you think it's cringe, but you're not doing it. So you're actually probably just a little bit jealous. But there is
Yeah,
that level of ownership because there's that shade that, and it's funny too, because when I post stories on
yeah.
Instagram, Ava,
I love your
I
stories. I
appreciate
live for
that.
those. Truly, I'm like, "What you posted?"
It's just
I like everyone,
it's a compilation of positive encouragement and cat videos. But
which
like,
is, like, the greatest content ever.
but I look to see who's looking at them.
Oh, all the
And
time.
and I'll notice it's like people that I never talk to or people that I
Oh, they're
hear,
watching.
like
Yeah.
everyone is always watching.
Always. The amount of, like, girls in my, like, town, I love them all, like, it's just, it's just but, like or just people you've met along the way,
Oh yeah.
There might not be supportive, like, liking, commenting,
Oh
but they're
yeah.
watching.
They're
100%,
watching.
always.
Everyone's watching, and it's always with that little lens of what are they doing and why am I not doing and why is
Yeah,
this? And because I've been that girl. I'm
yeah.
probably still that girl, like to
Oh,
some
I there's a few people
extent.
I go and look at, and I'm like,
Like
and
the
just because, like
audacity.
I know, and I'm currently, like, kinda writing a song about it, like,
Oh yeah.
y placement for musicians is really big, like you said, LA, Nashville.
Oh yeah.
A really big one is Texas.
Oh,
They're
like
their
Austin.
own thing,
Mm-hmm.
Fort Worth. Texas musicians, um, in general, like, it's just a booming scene, and I went to Fort Worth to, like, sing there a lot,
Mm.
and yeah, and I would just follow this girl, and I realized, and it clicked in my head, just kind of like how important placement was because when COVID hit, nothing
Yeah.
was working.
Nothing was
Like we
working.
could not musicians in my town or even just in Arkansas in general it was
Yeah.
non-existent. But
Tyler
yet,
went to no job, some zero job
literally,
overnight.
literally. But yeah, in Texas, there were still some places open doing music and they could still make an income, but it was just kind of like on the low
Mm.
low.
Right, right, right.
And it was not people that they would just have from out of state,
Right.
and so, like, I was like, I feel like I lost a lot of time there. I did hone in on my craft, my
Mm-hmm.
songwriting. So I do watch this one person because I'm like, dang, because it was like that time I felt like I lost, and it might be a jealousy thing. I don't know. It's just hard, I don't know. So it's just like maybe, and that's why I'm trying so hard now. I'm gunning for it now because I feel like there was just a lot of lost time there when
Yeah.
COVID hit.
And I think a lot of people during COVID felt that way. I know Tyler felt that way. He wrote an album about it. Like that, like there was a lot of things that it felt like you went backwards, I'm sure, but
Mhm.
in a way, I know it was a propelling forward. Like we started a brick and mortar business at the time
Oh,
when
wow. Oh, yeah, I think
yeah,
I
like our record store and we had a
yeah.
studio and there were so many times where like COVID would flare up again and we would have to shut down, pick up again, shut down and
Dang,
or
yeah.
modify. You're back online seeing clients and it was so much back and forth and it was incredibly stressful. But I know if we didn't have that time, it felt like the warm up to get to Nashville. So I feel like any level of
Yeah.
success that we've had in the last year is
Yeah.
just because we did so much leading up to it
Amen.
that moving to Nashville just kind of tipped the scale somewhat very quickly.
Yeah.
And even in the song that Tyler just put out with US Highway 50,
Yeah.
he did all of his albums himself before. So I don't think it's a coincidence necessarily, not that he didn't have good songs before, but he's now in a city where he can hire musicians, like someone that he's known for a long time. But the keyboard
Yeah.
player on US Highway 50 is Wynonna Judd's keyboard player,
Shut
if you
up.
didn't know that. Yeah, Josh Schilling.
Oh
And
my
then the
word.
drummer drums for Larry Fleet and was on tour with Morgan Wallen. Like
Uh,
the like all of those things. And
but yeah,
he
I remember
Cameron,
that.
and
Yeah.
then he had someone else do the mixing and mastering, whereas he would normally do all of that himself. So you're also getting a
Yeah.
much better product, but you're able to be in the company of all of these people, and it's like you're paying to be in the bigger circles. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, is it more expensive to be in Nashville? Yes, it is, but also you have to look at what you're getting out of it. Who are the people that you're around on a regular basis? We've wanted to do a
Yeah.
podcast for years, but in the small town that we lived in, who are we interviewing? Like, what, there's like three other notable
Yeah.
musicians that get
True. Yeah.
attention. And then, like, yeah, my students, but my students at the time were an average age of like 13. Like, what? Like, who are we interviewing? And even the content that we put out now, because I was working primarily with like teenagers, I feel like I had to still tailor myself. Not that it wasn't myself, but I still had to tailor like a little bit to the content that I was putting out. And
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
like dropping F bombs left and right. And I'm not talking about, childhood traumas. And, you're not going hard in the paint like that
Yeah. Yeah.
because you want to be marketable for a younger clientele and also for their parents to pay for that product that you're putting out.
That's true. Yeah.
But the teenagers that I've retained now that I see online that are still in North Carolina, they're truly like your ride or dies. Like their parents are just cool as shit, and they're like, "Yeah, we know you're a little nutty, and we're fine with it." Like it's just,
I love that.
it's just a different type of thing.
Yeah.
And I know the second that you finally decide to move here and you just flip that switch,
I know.
and it's nerve-wracking, right?
I'm working on it though. I've been looking at
It's hard.
places.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And when you're single and it's like, okay, I'm gigging, yes, but also that's the thing about Nashville. The gigs don't pay as much as
I
when you're in
know.
your hometown in the smaller cities.
Yeah.
Tyler easily per gig is probably making half the amount of money that he normally
Yeah.
would
I know,
before
and that's so
because it's just
crazy.
saturated.
Yeah, and then like there's some musicians who accept, almost nothing, and so it makes it harder for people who are trying to like make a living here at least on
The
gigs.
first place that he started playing at, and I won't name names, for a 3-hour set with no breaks that was not even on Broadway, it was off Broadway. So,
Yeah.
like, did not get the foot traffic for tips. $50 for 3 hours, Ava.
Nah, girl. Nah,
$50.
girl. I could
Who,
not.
like, he would have done better Ubering
Yeah,
than
probably for three
$50
hours.
because you also know how a 3-hour gig, it's not the 3 hours.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the prep time leading up to it. You have to drive there. Sometimes it's a
Wear
distance
and
away.
tear. Yeah.
All of those things, you are wearing out your voice.
Mm-hmm.
You have to practice leading up to it potentially. You have the tear down time of the equipment. If you have things to pack up, you have to drive back home. It's basically your whole day.
Yeah,
If you have a
it
gig, it's
is.
nearly your whole day.
Yeah, for
It's
$50.
not it's not the 3 hours because you also can't take other gigs that day because what are you going to do?
True.
Sing for 6 hours? For
Oh,
9
yeah,
hours?
yeah.
And some people do.
And
Like
they do.
there's Broadway musicians that are doing 3 shifts a day. I don't think it's singers as much as it is like guitar players and drummers,
Yeah.
but like there are people that do. But then you have to think about what is that doing to my voice in the long term because how much
Mm.
can a voice take?
Yeah, yeah. And stamina's great and all, but like still it picking and choosing your battles because sometimes like that's why like the solo artists on Broadway, like them having to do like three different, bars in that day, like
It's so
it
much.
is. And I'm like, I'm not, I don't, I need to protect my voice as much as possible too.
And for some of the singers where if they are just like a solo gig and they're not a band, like sometimes those rooftop like afternoon gigs, you'll be up there for 4 hours singing to like
Yeah.
2 people
Yeah. Truly.
for
Yeah.
like $125.
Yeah. And hopefully some tip. Yeah.
Exactly, and I think that's where they try to make up the difference, like, okay, you're running the bucket, you're getting tips, 'cause
Yes.
so you do make up more money in that way, but not if the crowd sucks and is
Yeah, I was gonna say,
slow.
yeah, it's like, yeah.
Like, you could be singing your whole ass off, but if it's a Wednesday at 1 p.m. in
Truly.
December, like, there's only but so
Truly.
many
Oh,
people coming
yeah.
to the top floor of any given bar, like, it's not always working in your favor, right?
No, yeah, and so yeah, and that's my struggle with like that's why I am happy with how I'm doing things now
Yeah.
because I can make up that money that I'm not making here when I'm
Mhm.
here. Like I'm just grinding as much as I can here and then going back home, making money, coming back.
Yeah. And
You
you
know?
never know, and, like, maybe it's an overwhelming, like, financial goal, or there is, like, finally an opportunity that arises from all of the things that you're doing right now that is the thing that finally tips the scale the other way, and then you will be in a better position to move. I think it's just knowing
Yes.
that there's no designated time of, like, if the again, it's fake timelines.
And right.
It's fake checklists, it's fake timelines that we're all putting out that's like, "Oh, well, I didn't do this at this time and this age, so obviously I'm just screwed."
Truly.
Do you ever watch Gary Vaynerchuk stuff, Gary V?
uh
He's another person you need to follow. He's like a
okay, okay.
his like original background is in wine, but he does a lot with like social media marketing.
I love that.
His stuff is perfect. He's like, if you're 35 and you think that you just don't have it figured out and you're disappointed, fuck that. And he loves cursing. Like he is like
Just
straightforward
tells you
to
how
a
it is.
T. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah,
And
I need to hear this guy.
it's so encouraging just to be like, yes, I'm not screwed. I'm not too old. I'm not too any of those things.
Truly. I need it. Yeah, this, the podcast, and there's something else that you needed to send me. Your picture of your hair.
Oh,
I need to have these things.
I know. The things that we need to include in the show notes. Bree's very awkward hairstyle. But yeah, you just never know how things are going to change over time.
That's true. And I do feel like right now it's like a rubber band. Like things are happening, the tension is building. I can feel it.
And I feel like that's when like things are about to pop. Like when you feel like
Yeah,
you're ready to have a nervous breakdown, that's probably right when you're to the
truly. Oh my
that's right when
gosh.
you're to the edge.
Yeah. And so like I feel like I don't know. I feel very soon, like soon-ish, like that I'll be able to come here and so and like live here,
Mhm.
because like you said, it's just different when you're here, living here. And
Yeah.
when I'm here, like when I said the last time for 2 weeks, I got so much done, so much happened,
Yeah.
and because I was here and I was grinding, and it wasn't just like this small time frame which I it's usually just a week at a time, so I could just do more,
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it's just different. And so like I'm ready to be here. I'm just gonna let it also happen naturally.
And some people do come here when they're 18 and probably when they're not exactly ready for it. And we see a ton of young Broadway musicians and like they're kind of into like the cocaine scene or they're like drinking way too much and they're
Yeah.
like they don't have the maturity necessarily to
That
be
probably would have been
able,
me.
yeah, like to do it with the longevity, right?
Mhm.
And it took us, like, we met in 2017. And for where I was in that stage of life
Mhm.
and like newly divorced, and I wasn't about to follow one more man chasing his dream. I'm like, yeah, no, 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 no. I'm just gonna sit here for a while. And it took us 7 years.
Oh my
It
gosh,
took
I
us
love it.
7 years to
Yeah, yeah.
finally say, okay, now I think we're ready.
Yeah.
And I think
Truly.
that's okay too. And
That is okay.
everyone's timeline is different.
Everyone's something is different, and I need to remind myself that every day.
Yeah. So what are you I know there's some things we can't talk about.
Yeah.
What are some things we can talk about that you are working on most directly? Like do you have a new song that's dropping soon? Do you like
Yeah.
where are you at with those things?
Well, okay, so sadly, no new songs dropping soon. I am working on like a. I'm narrowing it down. I'm gonna go in the studio and record about 4 songs.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, and maybe put an EP out.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm focusing on different ones that I know are working really well here. too.
Yeah, that's something that we pay attention to. Like when you're performing those songs, what are the ones that you're getting responses
Yeah.
to? And it kind of guides, okay, what am I working on next in the studio that I can put out?
Yeah. And then yeah, so mainly just honestly just getting in the studio. I did put Hey Nebraska out like
Yeah, I saw
on
that on social
yeah,
media.
yeah, on YouTube. And because I was just like, well, I might not be able to record and whatnot now, but I like the video. It turned out well. I'm gonna put it out, like just on
Hmm.
YouTube. Like it might not be on my page. But I was super excited about that. Whether like it got crazy or not, I was just like, I just need to start putting out and start doing things with it instead of like overthinking things. So yeah, mainly it's just getting in the studio and getting the songs out that people hear at rounds but do not get to see it
Yeah,
anywhere else. Like on my it's not on my page, it's not on my
right.
like, and so I feel bad about that sometimes. Like the music that's out right now, it is definitely me younger.
Hmm.
And I recorded it during COVID. So my voice was different. I wasn't gigging as much and you
Oh, that's
know,
another piece to the puzzle from our prior voice conversation. Okay, so those are like older songs that you feel like your voice was different too from like 5 years
oh,
ago.
yeah, it's so much different.
When did you write Reckless? What year was that?
Reckless, that was 2024. That was last year.
Okay, so that was last year. Okay,
Yeah.
good to know. But hey, when did you write Hey Nebraska?
Hey Nebraska was literally this last time I was back at in September when I
Oh
was with
wow,
you.
so you like just wrote
I
that.
w- it was a yeah,
Oh wow.
it was like a day, 2 days. Like I do a lot of writing in my car, like on the
Mm-hmm.
way to places, which is very inconvenient because I don't need to be texting and driving.
Yeah,
But I just try and like word it
you
into the
voice,
thing.
just
Yeah,
voice memo. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know something about driving. I don't know. It helps me focus. I don't know.
I feel like that with walking.
Yeah,
Walking
yeah. And
gets me
walking.
something
Yeah,
about pairing that thought with an activity of some kind, whether it's
yeah.
cleaning, driving, walking. Yeah, totally
Yeah.
agree.
And so I'd had this idea, and it's about like, just musicians trying to be together, but obviously both trying to be musicians, both on the road. And so there's obviously things that like conflict that if unless you're like Tim McGraw and Faith Hill,
Right.
you know,
Right.
which who wouldn't want to be, but so I had this idea and I wrote like it came so easily and I was just thankful about it, and then I sang it immediately at at the round because I just wrote it, and I was ready to try it out, and I tried it out last night too because I had been able I sang it on y'all's round, and I
Mm,
wasn't able to really sing it out since
mm,
then, in a songwriting setting, and
mhm.
so I sang last night, it went over so well, I don't
Oh,
know.
good.
I'm just super excited because but they hear all these songs I'm singing and they can't find them anywhere. So that's what I'm working on now
Yeah.
is recording
And
and
that's
trying
tough
to
too
get that out
because like
there.
you need if you're hiring studio time, if you're hiring musicians and you're like all of those things take time as well. And even if
Mhm.
you're doing everything yourself, that
Yeah.
takes a lot. It may be cheaper, but like that takes a lot of time.
Oh yeah.
Like our main
I'm sure Tyler put so much
Oh
hours
my
into that.
God. Like
Yeah.
our main focus is that truly like we intend for his job to be music. Like
Yeah.
that is his job. So he will be in the studio for an entire day. I mean, if I'm at the hospital working and I'm gone from, 6:30 to 6 basically, then
Yeah.
he will largely be in the studio the whole time,
Yeah.
arranging, recording, writing, editing podcasts. Like it's always something. And then you have to do the social media marketing stuff, and that's its own animal. And then you're trying to
Oh
figure
my
out the
gosh, yeah.
algorithms and
Oh, the algorithm. Such a
like
beast.
it's such a beast, and that game constantly changes.
Always. Always.
You're just always fighting an uphill battle, I feel like, as an artist, in that ebb and flow of figuring out what needs to be done and what do I need to put my time into, you know?
Yeah, yeah, truly. And yeah, and that and your honestly, you're like your body will tell you where you're spending your energy is like where it needs to be spent,
Mhm.
thankfully. So I've been really hear better now listening to that, like my gut,
Yeah.
like, is this what I need to be doing? Like, spending my energy on. And luckily, it
Mhm.
tells me pretty fast if I don't need to or if I need to.
Those instincts are good though, and that's great that you
Yeah.
recognize that because not
Yeah.
everyone does a good job at that.
It took a long time.
Yeah.
But I've always been a very like spiritual person. Like I've always like
Mm.
my dreams, they've always been very, very vivid and tell me things. And
Mm.
so like I think a lot of it comes from that. Like my dreams, I'm like there's just different things about my dreams. I could go into it all, but like
Yeah,
that
wow.
helped me with like decisions and if something's good or bad for me. And so I've used to fight it, but I've learned to just listen to it now.
Well,
Yeah.
I can't wait for this podcast to come out and you to listen back and then keep listening back and just think about, wow, like I've since that conversation done this and this and this and this.
Oh, me too.
Because
It'll
I
be
know,
so fun.
yeah, like I know that's exactly what's going to happen.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes we just can't always see it, but it's just that sense of knowing that the potential is there. It's capable that we can
Yeah.
do it.
Amen. Yeah.
So if the good people want to follow you, because I hate it's almost 2 o'clock already. I could talk to you for
Crazy.
3 more hours. It's like I almost need to give myself deadlines because we might end up ranting for 4 hours, like when Tyler does an interview. But
Easily.
easily. So again, if the good people want to find you, what are
Yes.
your social media handles, Spotify, all those things?
Yes. So Ava Earnhart Music at Instagram, Spotify is just Ava Earnhardt, Facebook, Ava Earnhardt Music, and then yeah, and I think it's Ava Earnhardt Music on YouTube as well. Or
Awesome.
just Ava Earnhardt. No,
Did we miss
hang
anything?
on. I
Anything
don't
else we need to
think so.
tap into? I think this was
Um,
great.
no, I mean I don't think so, other than just love your inner child. If you're a musician out there,
Oh,
just try to love on them a little more.
that's a great takeaway.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah. I know that when you do, I have like a song. Sorry, I don't know if you keep going,
You're fine. No, no, no.
but
You're so fine. No, go.
my dad came up with this title, and he was like, this would be a cool concept. And
Yeah.
I love when my dad and mom chime in. Um, and my dad's my biggest fan. It's so funny. Like he'll like comment like I know that girl. Like he's just so sweet. But and it's just so cool because like I never had positive male people
Mm-hmm.
in my life, and when I first came to him, he just instantly felt like home. It was really just cool. Um, but he came up with a title that said "Looking Back at Brianna," and
Oh.
instantly I was like, oh my gosh, that's so good. So like I have this song, and it is about like looking back at Brianna, and it kind of resolves
Mm.
as looking up to Ava.
Wow.
And so ever since that, like I I know how important it is to cultivate that relationship with your inner child, because
Mm-hmm.
if you don't, then you do kind of stay stuck. Or it could even be like last year. I mean, that's still a child, you know. They if we don't do that work, it can kind of hold you back. So just cultivate your inner child.
That's beautiful.
Hug on them. Yeah.
Mm. Well, this has been the good, the bad, and the music. I said it right. I always want to say the ugly, the good, the bad, and the music. I'm Bree Warwick, and I've been with Ava.
Thank you, Ava Earnhardt. Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun.
Absolutely.
First podcast ever, so I was like,
Yay.
best one yet.
Love it. Love it.
Thank you, Bree.